Tonight, I'm really truly praying for strength tonight, but I know that I'm not moving by my power. I've got supernatural strength from God that I'm drawing. Let's go back. So yes, back into the Zoom room. So yes, thanks so much, everyone. Tonight we have somebody who is, like I said, ready to pass batons. If this is your first time of joining PTB, I want to specially say thank you for coming. You are so welcomed. And I know that we have a few faces in the house tonight. Thank you so much. We are Pass the Baton. We meet every last Friday of the month. Every last Friday of the month, we come together as women. It's a women platform, but we also invite our men twice in a year. So February and then Father's Day, we invite our men to come on board with us and to kind of, let's all look at something together. So what do? We look at topics outside the box. Any topic at all that I feel that, it's really beneficial, should I say, to human or to humankind, things that people don't really talk about. So we talk about various things: baby laws, mother-in-laws, teen issues, menopause, sex, just trying to remember topics, godly parenting, um, marriage, the untold stories. Was such an interesting one. The things that people don't talk about in marriage. So basically, we talk about everything. And if you feel that there is a topic that you want us to look at, please kindly email pass the baton at yahoo.com. Pass the baton at yahoo.com. We're also on YouTube. You can go there and look for our past topics. We are also on Facebook and on Instagram, and we're just there just to remind people that we're still here. So tonight, I just want to say we're still here. If it's your first time, there is a first timer form there. Please kindly fill it in. Only for the purpose of Pass the Baton, you will get future emails from us. So tonight, we have somebody in the house. Her name is Wumi Adebowale. So this person was introduced to me, by, should I say, by a fellow pass the baton taker. She is no longer, she's not outside, she's inside, she's an inner person. So Wumi is a dedicated trainer, a coach, and a mentor with a proven track record of helping individuals to achieve their personal and professional goals, and has worked with diverse clients ranging from career professionals to students. So she holds certification in educational management and master's degree in manpower training and development and coaching psychology. That sounds like a doctor. Wumi empowers individuals, especially women, to express themselves and authentically for professional and personal excellence. Additionally, she works with organizations to create a diverse work culture where employees can bring their authentic selves to work while achieving their organizational goals. And tonight, honestly, I just want to say thank you in front of everyone, because like I approached her, and when she gave me a fee, there was no way. I said, sorry, I can't, but I really want to say thank you. Thank you for your tenacity. Thank you for, giving back, I'll probably say. And I just want to say thank you tonight. So this is PTB. You are welcome. You are welcome as a speaker tonight. But please, every month, we want to see you being a part of us, learning, unlearning, relearning together. Okay, I will be on your neck anyway. So I want to say thank you so much. I truly, truly appreciate it. And please, with a PTB reaction button, let's just say thank you to our speaker as I spotlight her. Thank you so much, sis, and you can go.
Thank you so much for having me. Just let me know if you can hear me.
Yes,
And
we can.
if you can, yeah, can you hear me clearly? Thank you so much for having me. It's a privilege, and I'm always honored, to serve and to give to courses like this. And yes, and to also empower. So thanks for having me. Without further ado, we'll delve into what we have today. So let me know if you can see my screen. Can you all see my screen?
Yeah. Yes, we can.
Yes. Today we are delving into self-care and life management. So there's no how I'm going to talk about self-care without talking about life management. Because if you take care of yourself, then you'll be able to manage your life effectively. And I would like to know what self-care means to everyone in this event today. What does self-care mean to you? You can just put it in the chat. What do you understand by self-care and what do you understand by life management? Um, yes, I'm seeing different meanings, me time, putting yourself first, intentionality, yes. Yeah, all these are correct. All these makes up what self-care is. So, self-care is looking after yourself, taking care of yourself. But before then, let's talk about our objectives for today. So today, I know we have men here as well, not just women. So today we're talking about self-care and life management, like I said. And so what is the objective for today? It's to empower individuals like yourself, right? To 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 make actionable plans with actionable strategies into incorporating self-care practices in your day-to-day life. So you're going to be getting the tools, you'll be learning tools, strategies, whereby you can integrate self-care into your daily lives today. And then, so what is self-care? This brings me to the meaning of self-care. Like I said, you all are correct. So self-care involves, making choices. What are the choices you make? Making choices, prioritizing your well-being, such as getting enough sleep, eating nutritious food, physical activities, managing stress. All this makes up self-care. Also about relaxation. You don't have to do something extravagant or extraordinary for you to care for yourself. It doesn't have to be luxury to take care of yourself. You can just be at home, reading a book, taking a bath, soaking yourself in a bath, spending time outdoor, just, appreciating nature. All those are self-care practices. The most important thing is just setting that time, that hour, even if it's few minutes for yourself and saying, okay, this is for me. I want to look after myself. I just want to, unplug. Sometimes it's about unplugging from the world, from the craziness of the world, from social media, from whatever it is, and just say, I want to unplug. I just want to, I want to focus on me. That's a way of taking care of yourself. So let's dispel what self-care is not. A lot of times there's this myth around self-care. Some people, I hear this quite often. Oh, so people who take care of themselves, they are selfish people. They do not think about other people. That's not true. So do not let anyone guilt trip you into thinking you're being selfish or you're selfish. It's not being selfish. Self-care is not selfishness. It is essential for your well-being. It allows you to be present, engaged, and supportive of your personal, your professional life, even people around you, even your loved ones as well. And it doesn't have to be time-consuming as well. It doesn't have to be time-consuming. Like I said, you could just have this plan that, okay, maybe daily, I would engage in self-care, 5 minutes a day, 10 minutes a day. Doesn't have to be for long minutes or long hours. Self-care is only about pampering. Yes, activities like going to the spa, bath, it goes beyond indulging yourself. It's about, just viewing different aspects of your life, being active in all aspects of life. Some people say self-care is, oh, it's only one size fits all. It's not one size fits all. What is self-care to you is different from what is self-care to me. And it's not for certain demographics as well. And I'm happy that we have men in the house as well. So it's important, for when men and women to look after themselves, to care for themselves. Self-care is not also luxury. I mentioned that previously. It's not luxury. It doesn't have to be expensive. It's about taking care of yourself, taking time out, unplugging, looking after yourself. Because believe me, nobody will look after you more than how you look after yourself. And it's not anybody's responsibility. It is your responsibility to look after yourself. Going on to the next slide. So we have the 4 pillars of self-care. These pillars include your physical self-care, emotional self-care, social, mental self-care. So what does physical entails? It's about exercising, eating good food, having adequate sleep. Emotionally, it's about mindfulness, stress management, expressing yourself emotionally, not suppressing whatever you feel. You should be able to express yourself. A lot of times, we keep a lot of things within us. I would employ you to get someone you trust that you can always vent to. Vent out if you have to vent out. Vent out. But vent out to the right person. Stop suppressing your emotion. Let it out. And the social aspect of self-care is building relationship, maintaining relationship. We all are social beings. We interact with people. We crave for that connection. So even looking after yourself, it's also important for you to interact with people, build meaningful relationship. Take note of that word, meaningful relationship, value-adding relationship, not just relationship that adds no value to you. Meaningful relationship. What about your mental self-care? It's about relaxation, creativity. You can be creative, you can let out your emotion or relax by being creative. Maybe you draw, you're an artist, or even by learning. These are ways that you can take care of yourself. And this brings me to the next one. So how do you then assess your self-care, your states, your current states? It's essential that you do a self-care audit. By doing a self-care audit is having a reflective assessment of your habits, your practices. Are you sometimes individuals do things that are self-destructive? So assessing yourself, like, what are your habits? What habits do you need to let go of? are your practices, evaluating yourself, attending to yourself physically, mentally, emotionally. Then find your strengths as well and your areas for development. Also, getting adequate sleep. Sleep is very important. I, for one, I sleep a lot. I sleep a lot and I just sleep when I want to sleep. Anyway, sleep is good, and God it's written in the Bible that He gives unto His beloved sleep. So sleep is from God, but sometimes when you stress yourself too much, when you overstress yourself, you become restless. So sometimes it's good to just take time, relax, and sleep. Have good sleep. And also about enhancing your self-awareness, making intentional choices to promote your overall health. And not just your health, your well-being as well. So yes, any questions so far? Any questions? So you can just keep the chat section active and drop your views and your points as well there. So what are the key components of self-care? Mentioned physical self-care already, so engaging in physical activities, quality sleep, said that already. Emotionally, mindfulness, meditation, engaging in activities, cultivating and maintaining positive relationship, which we've mentioned. These are key components of self-care. And I would like to mention as well, in addition to these, setting boundaries. Boundaries are very, very, critical. It is very important to set boundaries, because it is said that takers don't have limits, so givers must set one. Some people will take from you. It's not just about money. When you have someone who doesn't show up for you and they want you to keep showing up for them. People will think they can call you at any point in time and they expect you to show up for them. If you have been doing that, I want you to stop. It's good to look out for people, to show up for people, but not at the detriment of your self-care. Sometimes maybe you've made up your mind that, oh, today I'm going to rest. I want to sleep. And someone calls you out of the blues saying, oh, I'm coming to see you. You should always put yourself first and you need to rest. It's not like there was an arrangement for that before, or you planned for it before. So it's okay to say no. It's okay to say no and to set boundaries. It is critical to set boundaries. So what are the examples of self-care? What are the examples of self-care? Exercising, resting, eating healthily, and, setting healthy boundaries, like I mentioned, engaging in creative expression, like drawing, hot bath, taking time out, And taking time out involves, setting intentionality. It involves intentionality. It's just for example, sometimes I'm talking because of our community here. We are made up of community of, um, same community, let me put it that way. Sometimes even at work, we want to prove ourselves. And we keep working, 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 working. There's this phrase, strong Black woman, whatever it is. It is not okay to be strong at every point in time. It's okay to be vulnerable. I remember one time like that when I was going through a very difficult time at work. And my boss was like, oh, you're so strong. And I was like, really? I just said to myself, I don't want to be strong. This is not a compliment. This is not a compliment. I don't want to be strong. The following weeks, I took time out. I took time out and I had the adequate rest I needed. I just said, I don't want to be strong. No. So it's okay to be vulnerable. Yes, it's good to be strong, but not strong, strong, strong all the time. Unplugging, like we've said previously, try and unplug. Just take time out for yourself. Plug. Even for example, mothers here will have children. It's also good for you to unplug. Don't give them to your relative. Go and keep them with your relative. Unplug and keep them somewhere. You need that time. When last did you have a me time for yourself? These children, they are rewarding, don't get me wrong, but you need to look after yourself, mothers. You need to look after yourself. It is essential. So apart from our personal life, we also have self-care at work. How do you look after yourself at work? How do you look after yourself at work? Number one is communicating effectively. Sometimes, and this is where I'm very passionate. I don't like when I hear colleagues, going through a lot and they cannot voice out. I believe you should let it out. Effectively, saying your concerns, expressing your concerns and your thoughts in a respectful way. Stop suppressing your emotions at work. Let it out. Like I said, in a respectful way. Let out your thoughts and say your concerns. And also take regular breaks. Take regular breaks. Even if you don't have anywhere to go to, get up from your seat and take breaks. Do you know how many times those guys who smoke, how many breaks they take in a day? And they're allowed to do that. So why can't you do that just for yourself? Stand up, walk around, stroll around. Sitting down is not too long, is not good for your physical health. Also, fostering positive relationships. I know your colleagues are not your friends, right? We hear that often. But the workplace is where you spend so many hours of your time. In fact, a large chunk of your time, because by the time you get home, maybe you're lucky to get home around 6, 7, you're tired already. And then maybe you engage with people at home for the next 2 hours, and then you go to bed. The next day you're back to work. You spend 8 hours, 30 minutes, depends, or 8 hours at work. So it's good to, foster positive relationship at work, relate with people, build relationship at work. And while you're building relationship, also know that you need to set boundaries at work. Set your boundaries. The last one here is self-compassion. Very important. A lot of times we beat ourselves up. We stretch ourselves. We criticize ourselves. Self-criticism. We criticize ourselves. Practice self-compassion. Be kind to yourself. It's not just about being kind to people. What about yourself? Are you kind to yourself? Are you gentle with yourself? Are you compassionate with yourself? Are you compassionate with yourself? So what are the benefits of self-care? There are numerous benefits of self-care. Number one is your physical health. When you take care of yourself physically, you are active, you are agile, you're productive. Your mental well-being, very important, especially in this part of the world. Ensure, like when I got to the UK and I started working, I realized that it's different. I'm from Nigeria, right? And I know a lot of people are from Nigeria. We experience stress at work, but the stress in Nigeria is different from the stress here. In Nigeria, you could experience physical stress, but yeah, it's mental stress. I don't know why, but it's mental stress. So look after yourself mentally, please. Relax. Do creative things. No? Also, it increases productivity and your focus. When you're relaxed, when you're calm, become more creative, and it's sharpens your focus as well. And yes, as I mentioned already or before, better interpersonal relationship. Like they say, you cannot pour from an empty glass, right? And you take care of yourself and you are full, you overflow. Then you can take care of other people around you, your loved ones, your friends. So self-care is not selfish. It's just like when you're on the plane and they tell you the safety measures on the plane is you have to wear your mask first before you help the other person. So that's just what self-care is about. You can't pour from an empty cup. You need to take care of yourself first so that you can take care of other, so you are in a better or a good position to take care of people around you when they need you. When they need you. Okay. So moving on, what are the common obstacles to self-care? Common obstacles to self-care. Like, yes, you can, if you it's a question, so you can give your answer in the chat box. What do you think are the common obstacles to self-care? Yeah, someone said no is a complete no. Definitely. That's Flora. Yeah. What are obstacles to self-care? Okay, someone said lack of money, wanting to please people, giving excuses, busyness, stress from work, life challenge. Yeah, absolutely. You're right. You're right. So some of the common obstacles to self-care are time constraints. And this is just, it's an excuse actually. Or should I say it's not an excuse if you do not prioritize. And if you do not, if you're not intentional. Time constraints. We women, it's just our nature, to nurture people around us, to take care of people around us. But after taking care of people around us, do we create that time to take care of our own selves? So ensure to set time out for yourself, for your well-being, for your self-care. Ensure you do that. The next one is guilt and perceived selfishness. Like I said earlier, don't let anybody guilt trip you. It is not selfishness to take care of yourself, to look after yourself. Learn to say no. Learn to say, this is my me time. Learn to say, can we do this some other time? Learn to say, I would love to, but I don't have the capacity for it now. The next point is lack of awareness of prioritization. Self-care involves intentionality. You have to be intentional about it. Okay, when last did you reward yourself? Let me put it down. Let me ask you this question. When last did you reward yourself? Sometimes at work we pray rather. At work we pray for reward and recognition. You can reward yourself, and it doesn't have to be expensive. The other day I worked so hard that week. I am someone I don't eat out. I can say 98% of the time I cook my food. But that day, I was just like, gosh, I've worked so hard. I need to reward myself. And I just bought myself a box of pizza and chicken. you know, I did something I do not usually do. So it doesn't have to be expensive. It might be something special that you do not usually do, like going to your favorite restaurants that you visit once in a while. You can just say, okay. Or if you can afford it, going for vacation. I am a homebody. I hardly go out. But every year I take that time to travel or during my birthday to reward myself for the year because I'm born late in the year. So that year to reward myself for my hard work, for my labor, for everything, for the time I've spent indoors. I take that time to travel. Like I have that money so much, but it's just been a part of me to take care of myself. I remember when I started working, I said, I'm going to travel the world. I just feel like money is meant to be spent. Sometimes we save money, save money, save money. Yes, it's good to save. I am someone who is financially responsible, I can say that. But I'm not a slave to money. I spend the money because it's meant to be spent. Spend it on yourself. Yes, you buy gifts for loved ones. You do things for loved ones. You have family abroad in Nigeria who are asking for this, that, that. When did you last buy something for yourself? That watch that you have been eyeing, that dress that you've been eyeing, that you've been looking like, I can't afford it now. When are you going to buy it for yourself? When are you going to buy it for yourself? Look after yourself, pamper yourself, prioritize your self-care. So, do we have any questions? A question?
Just to add to the question bit, please, you can use the reaction button. You can raise your hands if you want to share while she's also sharing, or if you've got something to add, please do feel free to use your reaction button. Thank you.
Yeah, that's the spirit. Grace said today I rewarded myself with a nice nature walk and bought myself some gifts. Yes, great.
Okay, we've
Hello,
got,
good evening, everyone.
and yes,
Hi,
please.
good evening, Olaide.
Yeah, I just want to chip into what you said about self-care. I experienced something and it's been on my mind for a little while. And when I heard that, I really felt like
Okay, you are breaking.
Sorry?
Yeah, I
Hello?
think she's good, actually. You're good.
Okay, I can't hear clearly from my hand.
Ah, so can you hear me now?
Go
Yes.
on, please.
Okay, as
Yes,
I
go
was
on, please.
saying, when you talk about, people asking you for money and things like that, and you're saying you can't afford it for yourself, and you keep giving and giving to other people, and sometimes, and I won't even say sometimes, a lot of time we neglect ourselves, we forget about ourselves, and the other people you are sacrificing for, they don't know how much you are sacrificing for them. And I've got to tell you that you got to know that God is the only rewarder. If you're expecting anyone to reward you, you are going to wait forever. Because I personally experienced something and it came to me as a shock. Like, I sacrificed money I could have invested into something that could have yielded me income or profit, but I sacrificed it for someone else who is also a family. She's an extended family. And at the end of the day, this same individual person said to my face, "You haven't done anything for me." And I was stunned. I was like, really? I sacrificed millions of naira, in my head. I didn't even say it to her face. And today, it's come out of my mouth. It's probably the fifth time I'm talking about it today because it's still stuck with me. Like, did I hear her right? Is that, I'm actually looking for a moment to sit her down and say, you know what? You did something that really hurt me. If you said I've never done something for you before, I can start counting. If you never, even if I took my money back, I sacrificed it at that time for you. So one lesson I've learned is to prioritize myself and not give what I can't give away anymore. If you understand what I'm trying to say. So don't say I can't, I can't afford to do something because you want to please family back home, because it will always come back to hurt you one way or the other. Believe me. And I've experienced it a lot lately. And I just go like, no way. I'm not doing this anymore. I'm going to start going on holiday. I've denied myself. I've denied my children for other people. And they don't still appreciate it. So self-care is very important. We need to look after ourselves. We need to look after our mental health as well. Because in the process of neglecting ourselves, it can actually affect our mental health as well. That's my contribution.
Yes, thank you, Olaide. You had breaking at some point for what I gathered, you talked about someone you helped who was ungrateful, right? So one thing about ungrateful people is that when you keep giving and giving, the day you do not give, they will forget about all the things you've done for them in the past. And that's what they hold on to. Secondly, one should I say lesson or one tip I'd like to share about giving that I employ when I give to people. When people ask for help, yes, it's good to give. Don't get me wrong. By God's grace, I'm a giver. But one thing I don't like people who are entitled, who feel entitled, people who are ungrateful. As I'm here, if someone should give me £5, the way I would appreciate it, because I believe it's free money. Free money is sweet. It's free money. So I appreciate anything free that comes from people, no matter how small. That's one thing about me. And when people ask for help, sometimes it's not wise to give them everything. Sometimes people might say, oh, I need 50 euros or £50, sorry, £50, £100. From the good of your heart, you can give them part of it and say, this is what I can afford. You don't have to give them the whole thing. So, like I previously said, takers will keep taking and taking and taking. So givers need to learn how to set boundaries. Let's move on to Grace.
Yeah. So after Auntie Grace, I think we'll carry on. I just wanted to also add that I think for someone just said that a lot of Nigerians feel entitled, and that's just the honest truth. And I'll probably extend it to a lot of Africans, and I'm not sure why. But one of the things that I know that I've heard in the past, and it's really helped, is something that I called benevolence fund. And you can set something aside for yourself. That's your benevolence fund. So whatever it is, set it aside. Whatever everybody's fund will probably differ. So like you have your bills, you can have a benevolence fund. And if that fund is finished, it is finished. That's what you've set aside. Otherwise, you would chip in and you would take what you need to use for yourself, to get to help others. So maybe that's a tip for somebody else. Then Auntie Grace, please, ma. I'll come
Yes.
to you
Yeah.
again.
Hello, everybody. Thank you, Bumi, for organizing this. I just want to say something also, some obstacles that's actually, I just want to add to it. Thank you, the speaker that spoke about, you mentioned a lot about self-care. Yes. And it's good that we are bringing this to awareness, for people to be aware that you have to prioritize, you have to. So one thing I want to mention from being my own profession, because I'm also a trauma-informed care specialist, I'm also a trained social worker. And one thing I want to bring about, how do you guide your mind? Your mind, if your mind is something that is clustered with a lot of things, there is no way you can prioritize self-care. So what are your emotions? What emotion guide your action? Because emotions are energy in motion. So what are your emotions that guide what you do? What are the underpinning factors that guide what you do? And one thing I realize is that, like you mentioned in your slide, that healthy boundaries. Yes, there are times when you have to call a spade, and people will know you for who you are. And there are times you do, it's good to give, but there has to be because some people have what we call entitlement personality. They think you owe them, and that is what I don't like. And at the same time, one has to guide what goes in one's mind, because sometimes our mind can be filled with so much negativity that we neglect ourselves. That either you are a people pleaser, either you are hiding, either you are ruminating. A lot of things goes into where you neglect yourself. But one thing you have to do, no matter how big, some people use work to cope, so there is an underpinning factor there that is making them to work, that they work to hide a lot of wounds, a lot of suppressed wounds. So they don't even care about themselves. But it's good to actually take care of it, no matter how, whatever, take and speak out. If you know you are struggling in anything, speak out. Your health is your responsibility. Your overall well-being is your responsibility. One thing, if one way does not work, think, how can I make sure that I'm looking after myself? Even having a walk. I've got, my last son is 29 years old. And each day, no matter how cold, we go out for fresh air for 2 hours around and sometimes there is a TK Maxx. I just said, you know what? Let's treat ourselves. I will buy my last son something, I will buy a dress. And that, you know, the feeling that you have will be so beautiful and you feel so much joy. So part of taking self-care is that, are you even when you're in the midst of storm, are you in the midst of chaos, are you cultivating that joy? It has to be intentional. It has to be deliberate. And if you know you are struggling, speak out. It's not a sign of weakness. It's a sign of strength. It's a sign that you've admitted what you are going through and you are ready to move on. No, you are not alone. Everybody has gone wounds. So there's some processed wounds. There's some wounds that are not processed, that are lying in your subconsciousness, and it's rearing its head, and you don't even have time for yourself because you are more focused on that problem. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you for your contribution. You are right. Everything you've said, you're very right. And one thing I picked was about your mind, when you have a lot of things going on in your mind. And yes, it's how do you fight against that? It's by using the word of God, you know, and by rebuking any thoughts that does not align, you know, casting down heavy imagination that exalts itself against the knowledge of Christ. You know, you have to, the mind, like I put it, is a battlefield. It is a battlefield. And I'll use myself as an example. I do not have relative in the UK. I live by myself and I work from home. So most times I have to battle with my mind. I battle. Is a story for another day, but you have to really battle and counter whatever negative thoughts you have with the word of God. And also speaking out. Speak out. I talked about, you know, not suppressing your emotions, speaking out and, you know, letting it out. Let out your emotion. Let people know how you feel. Vent out if you have to vent out. So we'll move on to our exercise for today. So using the 4 pillars of self-care: physical, emotional, mental, and social. I want you to rate yourself. What level, from a scale of 1 to 10, what level do you think you are on? What level? Be sincere with yourself. And, you know, connect the dots, visualize your overall level of self-care. Let's take like 5 minutes to do that. And depending on your current level of satisfaction, what actions do you think you can take to enhance your self-care? What are actions and how will you get there? So I just want one person to share with me, you know, what they're going to do going forward. If you have finished your exercise. Remember, it has to be, you know, around these 4 pillars. You cannot be okay, you know, in one part and dysfunctional, or you're lacking in the other parts of the pillar or other categories, it needs to match, it needs to be proportional. Anyone care to share?
You can share also by just raising your hands, and then we can see. While we're doing that, I'm just going to read this comment. It says, self-love is a mindset. Positive self-love, not narcissism, is the template for loving others. If you feel that you love others better than yourself, you ought to check your motives. Even the Bible says, love others like yourself. Could you be unconsciously people-pleasing when you're depriving yourself of self-love and care while prioritizing love and care of others over yourself? So that's from the mindset queen, like I call her. If you've got anything to share, please just raise your hand while we're using the 4 pillars of self-care.
Yes, please.
Yes, go on,
We have
Latoya.
Latoya.
Well, hi everyone. I would say the one I'm lacking right now is the physical self-care. Years ago, I used to walk 2, 3, 4 hours, but now since I've moved to another area, I rarely ever do that. I don't like the gym anymore, and I'm just like a couch potato in the house. I work from home every day, but I don't actually stay indoors to work. I go to coffee shops and all that. But then I realized that I'm so unfit. So and sometimes it is depressing because I see my daughter exercising and I just can't be bothered to do anything. I just don't have that self-motivation anymore to want to actually want to exercise. So I'm just wondering, what else can I do to get myself motivated to actually exercise? The other areas I find, the social self-care, I do that a lot with boundary, emotional self-care, and mental health, mental self-care. I would say I'm probably 8 to 9 on the other 3. But I would say for physical, I'd give myself a 4 or perhaps a 3. So what would you suggest?
I wouldn't want to give you an answer because you I want to answer you like a coach. I want you to search within yourself. What do you think you can do better? How will you get there? Okay, let's start with what is hindering your physical self-care?
I don't know, because I was very active, but I think I wanted to. I think it's the fear of, because it's a new area, right? I would really want to walk like I used to when I was in London, but because it's new, relatively new, and I think I'm afraid of the unknown, what's out there, and I don't want to get lost. I don't know whether it's safe. So I think I feel safer home, not going for a walk in an unknown place.
Okay. We are getting close to the answer. So how are you going to overcome that here?
I've never given it a thought. I don't know. It's something I need to think about, how I can go back out there to do the outdoor activity that I like to, not the gym, safely. So I will begin to think about it now. I've never actually talked about it to anyone. It's the first time of talking about it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So think of how you overcome the fear, or you can also dive deeper and ask yourself, why do you have the fear?
Oh, get an
Now
exercise buddy. Somebody just yes, that's
Yeah.
true.
I was just
Yeah.
about to read the comments. It says, oh, you could even do it during daytime, lunch breaks, maybe. I know some people
Yeah.
at work, when we work, they go, Bunmi, I'm just going to take 30 minutes fresh air lunch break. And because it's daytime, it's so much easier.
Oh, yeah.
And also, you could be on the phone with your lunchtime buddy. The person doesn't have to be with you. I know a lot of women here will go do exercise, and they're even speaking to me as they're doing exercise. Some are listening to maybe a podcast or whatever. And because you're so lost in the moment of the podcast as well, you're not aware of your environment. That's the honest truth. And you can't get lost. You've got maps, you've got Google. So that would
Yeah.
take, and I want you to think about it as well, that no one moves to an environment where they think it's unsafe. I think that's the one thing. I'm sure
Mm.
before you move to wherever you are, you've done your homework, you've done your research, you feel that, it's a safe environment. So everything, whatever it is just here. So you need to detoxify that myth and just step out. And I
Yeah.
think once you break the jinx, because it's not that you never used to exercise, you've done it before. So once you break the jinx, and don't break it by saying, oh, today I'm going to do 2 hours. Maybe start with 30 minutes, then
Mm.
increase it to 50 minutes, then increase it
Yeah.
again to 70 minutes. And before you know it, you're back to who you used to be.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes, that's great. Thank you.
Thank you.
We will not be able to take another one at this time, but if there's time left after the presentation, we'll definitely go back to you. I saw somebody raise their hands. So let's quickly go into life management. So what is life management? Life management is, organizing and prioritizing the different aspects of your life. And what do you think are the different aspects of life? Please drop that in the chat box. What are the different aspects of life? By life management is about balancing everything, creating a plan of action, implementing strategies, developing positive habits, doing things help reduce stress, increase your productivity, and your overall well-being. It's about also taking, proactive approach to managing your life. So there are 3 categories of life, and they are called life tasks. We have the task of work, the task of love, and friendship. So every human being is saddled with this task. You have to work for you to feed yourself, for you to survive. The task of love. We all yearn for love. We yearn for someone to love us and want to be loved. And also friendship, interpersonal relationships. Apart from our companion, we also have family, we have friends, we live in a society. We cannot just exist like an island. So these are the 3 tasks of life. And the way you handle this task of life, it depends on your lifestyle. Your lifestyle. So what is your lifestyle? Or what is lifestyle? Lifestyle is a way person lives. How do you live your life daily? And it comprises of factors such as your personal philosophy, like the principles guiding what you do, your beliefs, which is influenced by perhaps your background and your upbringing. Next one is your approach to life. How do you approach situation? How do you navigate obstacles in life? Another key area of your lifestyle is your perception. Perception is powerful and it is subjective. Your perception is different from my perception. These are the key factors that form your lifestyle. And there's what is called life task and life life. Life task is, comprises of your experiences that arises in the process of life. Like we mentioned, we have 3 life tasks, right? 3 life tasks, which is love, interpersonal relationship, and work. Then on the other hand, we have what we call life. And it involves you shifting your responsibility to other people. Shifting the responsibility of your situation, it is critical for us to take ownership of our life, take responsibility for our situation and experiences and forge ahead, rather than, trying to shift it and, not trying to face reality. This is reality. We need to face it. And this brings me to what is called separation of tasks. For you to live a balanced life, you must separate your task. A lot of times we take on a lot of things. Some people, if they are calling this person, you are the one they are calling. If they are looking for this person, you are the one. If they are looking for that person, you are the one. It's just you. Some people are happy to do it, but are you actually doing yourself any good? So separation of tasks is letting people know their tasks. Letting people know their tasks and letting them know this is your task. For instance, for example, in a relationship, everyone has a role to play. Carrying somebody's role, it's too much of a burden to bear. It's too much of a burden to bear. Everyone, for you to live a balanced life, you must learn how to separate tasks. You must know the task that is for you and the task that is for others. Stop doing other people's tasks. There are 2 types of life. I love this so much. You have the kinetic life and the energial life. So the kinetic life is, you have that destination in front of you. You have a goal. You're trying to reach your goal. You just plan. You just overthinking. You're planning. How will I get there? What will I do to get there? You keep planning. The energial kind of life is you're taking one day at a time, taking one moment at a time. For example, we are on this workshop, right? It's your energial moment. You're not thinking of anything else. Perhaps you go back after the end of the event, you have dinner. If you have not eaten dinner, you go to bed. It's like dancing. When we are dancing, we're dancing. We don't even know where the dancing is leading us to, but we are happy at that point in time. We are cheerful, we are dancing, we are doing what we need to do. We're enjoying that moment. And if it leads us somewhere else, then good. If it leads us to our destination, then that's fine. So we have the kinetic life and the nature life. And in terms of talking about the kinetic and the nature life, there's what is called a straight line and series of dots. Life itself is a series. If you try to live life like a straight line, you get overwhelmed because it's like you're just going, and you're not getting anywhere. It becomes further. Your destination, your goal, your aspiration, it becomes further. The more you go, the more it stretches. But when you live your life like a series of dots, you live life in this moment, do what you can in this moment, enjoy this moment. The next moment, you do what you can. By doing so, you connect these dots together. And when you connect these dots together, eventually they connect and lead you to your destination. So it is critical for us to, to live life like a series, not like a straight line. To live a productive and happier life. Live in the moment. Live your life like it's a series of dots and then connect them together rather than a straight line. It's just I'll give an example. The straight line or the kinetic one is you're looking at the mountain. You want to climb a mountain, you're looking at the top of the mountain. How you get there. But the energy one is you're looking at the steps you will take to get to that mountain. That's the difference. And this is why you have to have mechanism in place that will help you manage life effectively. Like coping mechanism, your strategy or behavior that, you use to manage stress. Yes, there will be stress. Life is full of stress. Anxiety will come. There will be obstacles you need to navigate. So you must employ these strategies to manage these emotions. Like to talk about several emotions going through your mind and to live a more, productive life. So what are these strategies? What are the strategies for achieving work-life balance? Very critical. Talk about setting boundaries, detoxing, clearing work hours or any hours for yourself, prioritizing tasks and responsibility, time management, very important. We have tools that can help you manage time. For example, we have calendar, we have the alarm, we have the clock or the watch to manage your time. We have what we call time blocking, time batching. All these are tools that can help you manage time effectively. And also learning to delegate is very critical. As a leader, at your place of work, or even in your personal life, learn to delegate. Because if you keep taking things at more than your capacity, you burn out eventually. Learn to delegate effectively. So this brings me to life plan. How then do you plan your life to have a balanced life? How do you plan your life? So I call this life plan, and one of them is identification of tasks. You must be able to identify your tasks. What is your task that you are responsible for, not what other people are responsible for. Identification of tasks, then separating your tasks. After you've identified the one you're responsible for, then separate it. Do yours and let others do theirs. You must also learn to adjust to life. There are situations that you must learn to adjust to in life that happen. Adjusting to life. And very important, elimination of non-essentials. After tonight, do an audit of your life. What are the non-essentials that are wasting your time? It could even be relationships, friendships that are not adding value to you. It could be having too many things at home that you don't even have need for. And they are taking up space in your house. Eliminate them, give them out if you have to give them out. Donate, clear out space for yourself. Elimination of non-essentials. And also learn to refocus. After you've done all this, refocus, because sometimes, life, we derail and we lose focus. We need to be able to refocus. We must refocus to get back on track. And yes, so this brings me to the second exercise today. It's not what we will do at this point in time, but I just want to share with you. It works for me. It's about, getting sleep, because like I mentioned, people ask me that, how do you do it? You just go to bed and the next 1 minute you're already sleeping. So I want you all to look at me, like pay attention to my face. You might take this down and try it yourself. So if I tend to go to sleep and I'm not getting sleep on time, I try to am I frowning, or sometimes I do like this. You think you are sleeping or you think you are relaxed, but no, you're not relaxed. You might be, expressing different emotions on your face. But when you learn to relax, like having that, there's no emotion, very relaxed state. Like I'll try and demonstrate it here. Before I wasn't like this. But now if I relax myself, no emotions at all. And then I breathe in and breathe out. I tell you, the next minute I'm sleeping already. So if you are finding it difficult to sleep, just try this. When you're on bed, when it's time to sleep, just ensure that you are in a restful place. Like make deliberate efforts, to transition into that relaxed state. And I can tell you, you see the difference. You see the difference. So yes, we're almost done. And now we can take some questions if there's any.
I know from before, we had Sister Tope and Elizabeth. Would you like to share now if you're still on?
Yeah.
Just if you put your hands up, I'm going to, while we're waiting on you. Okay, Elizabeth first, then I'll go on.
I just wanted to share with the lady that said she's not able to exercise. You know, usually when you move to a new community like that, you have a Facebook group for that community, or you have a next door app that you can install. So in that app, excuse me, you see like, you know, different activity happening in your neighborhood. Like I live in Avering, and in Avering, every Saturday, Sunday, I see a group of ladies, men, you know, walking down and they're doing it together. Another thing you can do is, you know, dance. You can dance and sweat at home. You're actually getting more, you know, you improving your blood circulation. So that might help you. Yeah. So I just said I should share that because I know sometimes, you know, everything that we might have said might not still encourage you to do, but that dance would definitely get you moving. So try that. Thank you.
I think the
Thanks for
person you've just
sharing.
advised actually just came back in. She wasn't online. So Latoya, just to share with you, I think she's just connecting to audio. Latoya, are you here? Okay, I'm just going to share what Elizabeth just said because she was actually trying to make sure that she's advising you based on the last question. So she did say you can join Facebook community groups in your area, and you can also install the app next door. It would kind of tell you things that are going on within your community. And she also advised you can start with dance. So just moving and making sure that, you know, the whole of the body is moving, and maybe that can compel you to start your exercise. So and
Yeah,
see,
let me add to that.
yes, it's gone.
One very effective form of exercise that you don't even have to go anywhere is skipping. And I want to believe you have space for skipping at home. Is very, very effective. It's like you're even going to the gym. You can buy a skipping rope and skip. You're fine. You're good.
Thank you so much. Yes, please, Auntie Grace.
Oh, yes. Okay. Yes, thank you. Like when Wumi was mentioning about one of the key points I want to really emphasize on is the adjustment to life. Life normally throw a lot of it's not as it's okay, yes, to yes, you have to adjust to whatever chaos, whatever storm you are going through. But however, like you mentioned, you don't have to repress your emotions. If you want to cry, you cry. It's a release. Then one thing is that consider if that thing is affecting you that you are unable to cope, that is affecting your overall well-being, it's affecting your spiritual, emotional, physical well-being, then seek help. Identify the fact that you are struggling in here, and this is the problem. Because it's not like an easy thing to actually adjust to any storm or any chaos that you find unbearable. Seek help. But the first thing, before you can seek help, you have to identify, accept that you are struggling here. That's key. Then next one is to seek help. Then the third one is that what energy are you creating around yourself? What energy? That energy, is it because energy can affect your emotion. For me, the first five minutes when you wake up, what energy are you communicating? Because it's going to affect you. If it's negative, your approach throughout that day will be negative because you will be sad. You will be thinking. You have you'll be anxious. So the first 5 minutes of your waking up, what are your thoughts? So you have to be mindful of your thoughts, because everybody, you are not alone. Everybody goes through a lot. Even later, I realize when I go on holiday, deliberately I go to Nigeria twice in a year, and I love to go, and I make my plan to go with my son because I can't leave my son for anybody here. I believe in that God has given me that child, and it's my responsibility to look after him, to build his own self-confidence, self-advocacy. So I take him with me. And I know that when I go to Nigeria, and what I do is that I will save twice a year. How do I do it? It's because of my perception. Then what are your perception? That is something I usually say, that what you resist persists. What you accept transforms. So that's key. So how do you change the scenario, the scenario of your life? It's how do you view what is happening to you? Your perception matters. If your perception is something that is hard, that is tough, that you see it as tough, unbearable, I'm telling you, your approach, your energy, your emotion will be all negative. And then you can reach a burnout. It can be so overwhelming that you don't know the way out. You get depressed, you have panic attack, you have a lot of things. So wherever you need help, seek help, because life is not easy for anyone. We experience ups and downs, but you have to be mindful of your thoughts. That's very key in part of being self, so that your head will be light, and you'll be able to, and you'll be intentional about that. You know what? You want to go for walk every day. You want to be able to go out every day, every month. You want to buy a beautiful dress for yourself. I love dancing. I create an atmosphere of joy. My last son, I don't listen to news anymore, because those news are depressing. Breaking news is bad news. I don't listen to them. I go to YouTube. It's either to watch those films that are sensible, or to actually listen to Yinka Ayefele or other musicians, and I will be dancing. And some of music, the R&B music, that their lyrics are really nice, and I would dance. I love dancing, and and one thing is that exercise helps with your mental health. So that's how you can adjust to life. But wherever you need help, please don't hide it. Don't use maladaptive approaches. Like maybe you had some people, they think, oh, they want to forget about, they start drinking, they start eating, they start binging. I like food, but I eat heavily. I will process the food in my head. I will process it. It's like I said, even preparing food is better than sex. I hope there is no minor there. And we'll process it like food is very sensual. I'm not going to eat amala eba all the time, but I will process it. I will eat healthily. I want to eat egg. I will do it I will treat myself like a queen. So how do you see yourself? That matters. How you see yourself, how you see yourself will affect the way you will treat yourself. So that's my own bits.
Thank you so much for sharing, ma. Thank you so much. The third person, let me see. Okay, yes, please. I've asked you to unmute. Statup, are you there? Okay, yeah.
Okay. Oh, I'd forgotten that I raised my hand a while ago. Yeah, blessed evening, everybody. Thank you, Wumi. Very insightful, very encouraging, very inspirational. So mine is not a question. I just want to share very quickly. So for me, you need to be in a place where you feel liberated within yourself. So, for example, when you're in a storm or you feel overwhelmed by your circumstances or by a particular situation, I would suggest that the person practice intentional self-regulation. Just ask yourself a simple question. Do I have control over this? If I don't have control over it, I let it go. So we talk about the let go, let God. We use it flippantly, but honestly, it's very powerful. Let go and let God. Yeah. If you let go, you release yourself. You're like, I have no control over it anyway. So why make myself ill? Whether mentally ill, emotionally ill, or even physically ill, because it will soon seep into your physical state of health, So it's just sharing that we need to actually go inward, introspectively, ask yourself that question. If I don't have any control over it, I'm going to let it go, because otherwise it will consume you. And then all of the stuff that you've been sharing then begins to be your reality, because your perception, you're holding on to something you have no control over. If you do, then do something about it. Yeah. Because we all know what we can control. So that's all I would like to share, that it liberates you when you're able to just, I can't kill myself. I have no control. I'm going to do what I can. And then I'm going to wait because I have faith. I'm going to rely on God to do his bit. I'm going to do my bit. And, so that's all I'd like to share, just to encourage us. Thank you.
Thank you so much for that. Someone says absolutely let go, and I totally agree with that. If you don't have a control over something, let go. If you have a control over it, then do the right thing. And then someone says we have the power to choose our thoughts, and that's part of self-care. The Bible says whatever is true, whatever is noble, whatever is kind, only think on those things. Only think on those things. Thank you so much, everyone, for sharing. And if you have any more addition or questions, please put your hands up by using the reaction button.
Thanks for sharing your insights. There's what is called surrendering to the cards that you're dealt. Sometimes we just need to surrender. Like we fought. Just surrender. And there's one thing I do say, I allow myself feel what I'm feeling. It's okay for you to feel whatever emotion you're feeling, because emotions are temporal. Sometimes we try to run from our emotions, we try to avoid them, Avoidance. It is essential for us to face our emotions, to feel it. Whatever it is you're feeling, pain, your hurt, anger, whatever it is, allow yourself feel your emotion. Don't run from it. Don't avoid it. Knowing that it's for a while, and don't stay there for too long as well. That's the most important thing. Don't stay there for too long, because these negative emotions, if you do not have control over them, they tend to want to keep you, keep you there. So don't stay there for too long. Feel your emotions, but do not stay there for too long. So in conclusion, remember that effective self-care is about finding activities that resonate with you personally, because, it's not a one size fits all, like we said already. Experimenting with different activities can help you discover what is best for your well-being. Yes, I know I've been introduced already. So if you want to connect with me, feel free to connect with me on LinkedIn, on Twitter, and my email address as well. And yes, and I just wanted to quickly share this. I am having a workshop tomorrow on self-discovery and finding purpose. If you would be interested, you can send me an email and I'll send you the details of the workshop. And if not, I'm happy to connect with you on LinkedIn and on the other platforms. So thank you for having me and allowing me to share.
Thank you so much, Umi. Thank you so
Great
much.
topic.
Thank you. I love the workshops. I love the Q&A sessions. And I want to say thank you to everyone also for joining us tonight. I believe that you have been richly blessed. And if you have been, and maybe some things that, like me, there's some things that she spoke about tonight. I tell you the truth, I'm very well read. I read a lot of things. There's some things I've just said for the first time. So was it I wrote it down, kinetic and energy or whatever, types of life. I wrote that down. I'm going to read more about it. I want to know more about it. I want to understand what it means. And I also believe that you've picked up on one thing or two tonight. Thank you, everyone. Thank you to our first timers. Like, shout out to you guys. I've got two of my brothers at the same time on PTB. It has never happened before. I see you guys. Thank you so much. And that's my blood brothers. So thank you for coming. I truly appreciate you. But tonight we cannot end this, honestly, without saying a word of prayer. And I'm just trying to see who can pray for us tonight. Let me see. Or if you feel led, please just raise your hand. Otherwise, I'll just pick up on somebody. Just trying to look at the names. I don't want it to be a regular. I want it to be somebody who is new. Somebody who is new. And someone has just entered as well. Okay. So I am going to call on drum roll. So I'm going to call on, hopefully they are there. It's not just that we're just all here. Hopefully if I call your name, you're actually there. So it's a time for a test. Can I have any? I don't know who any is. So hopefully she is there. And I know she hasn't spoken today, whoever that person is. And I'm not sure whether you're new, but yeah, I thought I'll call you. So Annie, are you there? So it's testing time. Let's see who is there. Are you there, Annie?
Yeah, hello.
Oh,
Can you hear
hello.
me?
You are there.
Hi, yeah, you do know me. Yeah, this is
I
my
know
first
you.
time coming, so
Oh,
I
yes, I
just
know you
joined.
now. I've heard your voice. Yes.
Yeah, yeah.
It's your
But,
first time because I haven't seen you
Yeah,
before
yeah,
meeting
it's my
you.
first
Oh, so
time.
it's a good thing I called you. You see? Thank you so much for coming. It's your first
oh,
time
thank
and it's the
you.
first time of many more.
All right,
Okay.
well, yes.
Yes. We look forward to having you every month. Do you want
Oh,
to pray
thank
for
you.
us as we
Well,
sign?
yeah, I can do if you. Yeah.
Yes,
Well,
please.
Father Lord, I just thank you for what we've heard tonight. I just thank you, Lord, for bringing everyone together, and I just pray, Lord, that this what has started here will just continue, and I just pray that that people will just be blessed and will leave blessed, Lord. And I just pray for this work that's being done here, Lord, that women will continue to encourage one another and people will just be encouraged. And I just pray everyone, for their well-being and everything goes well with people. Amen.
Amen. Thank you so much.
Amen.
And
Thank you.
also, please do connect with Wumi. If you need her details, just ping me. She had all our details there. I will also send it out once I send out the YouTube link. I truly appreciate everyone. I truly appreciate you taking time out again on a Friday evening and connecting with PTB. We will see each other again next month, March. And thank you. Have a very good